Hi friends, I hope all of you are doing good. And so today it's something going to be very different. And what if I say, I talk about protein and what comes to your mind? If it boils down to breaking some misconceptions that at least I had and so many people around me have. So when I say protein or when I ask you about protein, what comes to your mind really? Is it something that is unnatural? Is it something that has to do with, a feeling of steroids, or is it something to do with that protein is only consumed by people who want to build muscles or who work out on a daily basis and so on and so forth? So these are certain misconceptions, some popular misconceptions that we have, and let me try and break it or give it a different direction based on what journey I had with my protein. So yes, I had a specific journey and let me share that with you. So it was back in class 11th, 12th when I used to train at my school gym, and I specifically remember this coach of mine came and comes up to me and he was like, Sachit, why don't you go ahead and start taking whey protein as well, because it is going to probably enhance your muscle growth and muscle strength as well. And at that particular time I did not do much research on it, and which is a sad thing. I should have done it, and that's what I keep telling on my videos as well. So after 24-48 hours later, I went to this coach of mine and I told him, I'm sorry, this is something very unnatural is appealing to me, and I don't want to inject myself with supplements or steroids or whatever. I want it to be natural. And later I realized that supplements is also natural. I mean, if I'm having supplements, that doesn't make me a unnatural bodybuilder or a workout person. So yes, I did tell this to my coach and he said, okay fine, however you're comfortable with, we'll just do that. So that happened, and a couple of years down the line when I was doing MMA for 1.5 years, I remember that I was not aesthetically pleased by how my body looked, because I was doing 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 hours a week of training, and I was pretty regular at it, but my body was not showing the kind of results that I was expecting to. So I went to this owner and I was like, hey, so and so, not going to take the name, if I'm looking at muscle growth and more muscle strength, if I need my body to shape up or change in certain way, what should I do? So this guy told me that have chicken, and I told him that I'm a vegetarian. He's like, oh no, consider having chicken. I was like, what? I mean, is protein actually the end goal or the end destination for anybody who's looking at muscle growth and muscle strength? So I came back home and I was a little disappointed that here is this guy who's asking a vegetarian to convert into a non-vegetarian, even though I have eggs on a daily basis now. But yeah, so I got back to him and I was like, I'm happy being a vegetarian, and I don't want to indulge in too many meat or meat forms as such. So I continued with that, and I kept telling myself that I have to get happy the way I look, get happy with the way I am, and probably sort of blame it on genes as well here and there. So again, couple of years down the line when I started with strength and conditioning CrossFit, I met some amazing people that changed my life around, that made me change everything, and how I used to look at fitness, how I look at fitness right now, what changes I did for myself and everything. And when I was studying for CrossFit is when I actually realized that how these macronutrients actually affect us, right? And how protein should be looked at as compared to what it is looked at. So let's talk about muscle growth and let's talk about muscle strength. So we often get protein or make protein stand on a pedestal and shun away with carbohydrates, right? Because of all the wrong reasons. I mean, we think that we should really run away from carbohydrates, but let me tell you this. So carbohydrates is the powerhouse of energy for our body. So what happens is when you're consuming carbohydrates, carbohydrates get converted into glycogen, and glycogen gets stored in your muscle fibers and muscle cells, and when you're working out, your body is utilizing the energy from the glycogen and then resulting in the work that you do. If you do not have glycogen present in your body, or if you're not consuming enough carbohydrates, then your body still needs energy to work, and then it starts deriving that energy from the muscle fibers. So it results in muscle loss instead of muscle gain. So befriend carbohydrates, my friends, and have appropriate amounts of carbohydrates as well, along with appropriate amounts of protein. Now when I got into CrossFit, the company that I used to work for, was, giving, it had a tradition to send out nutritional either snacks or protein powders every other month. So I started getting protein powders to my home. Now, my mother didn't say anything for the first month or the first week, but as the months passed on, I kept getting protein powder, and that became a usual part of my diet. So then suddenly one day my mom comes to me and she's like, okay Sachit, I'm really not comfortable with all the protein powders that you've been consuming. And I was just consuming 1 scoop a day. So, but she still comes in, she's like, I'm not comfortable, and she thinks that it's very unnatural and it's something that I'm, injecting myself or my body with something which is not natural. Again, the thought or the feeling that we get with steroids. So I told my mother that it is supplements that needs to supplement your diet instead of completely relying on it. And I told her that trust you me, it is completely natural. And then she left the conversation and she just walked away to her room. Now my mother, being a reasonable woman, I had to come back with scientific reasons to convey my arguments forward, right? So I went on Google for the first time for whey protein. I don't know why, but I don't know why that late. But when I went to Google, I realized that whey protein is actually a byproduct of cheese production. So it is actually coming out of milk. And if it is coming out of milk, how can it be not natural? So I got all excited and I went to my mother and I was like, hey mom, whey protein is actually a byproduct of cheese. And when I told her about the process, she was like, okay. She just nodded and she didn't say a word. Now the other morning, the consecutive morning, she comes to my room and she hands me over a white drink, and I tell her that, why are you giving me plain milk early in the morning? And she's like, you just drink, this is not milk. So when I drink, the taste is obviously not familiar. So I ask her what this is. Now, to my surprise, she says that it is homemade whey protein that you've been drinking. I was shocked. I mean, one should never underestimate the power our Indian household mothers and women do. So in one night, she Googled and researched how the process works for a whey protein, and she made it for me. Then the argument got back to how I should chuck the protein boxes and stick to homegrown protein drink. But the concept here is something different. Now what I mean is, when you see such protein, right, whey protein, casein protein. Now whey and casein are a byproduct of milk. So when you're talking about protein powders, consider them as a supplement to supplement or complement your diet with. Don't rely on it completely. And these are not something to do with unnatural stuff or steroids or anything. Now again, let me put a scientific touch to it. So what does protein do? And is it really important for even people who are not working out? Yes, it is. So your protein sources have amino acids. And what is amino acids? So we have 20 amino acids. Amino acids are basically a product that synthesizes protein. They are the building blocks of protein. They are your neurotransmitters for your body, and they also regulate your hormones and mood. So amino acids are surely essential for your body, and guess what? Your body does not know how to make them. So we have to incorporate food, or in either powdered form or in whole food form, to our cells to incorporate those amino acids. Now I'm not talking about all the 20 amino acids here. There are 9 essential amino acids. Those need to be compulsorily taken into our body, and that's what these protein sources have. They have these amino acids present in them, which help our body to grow, regulate weight, regulate our mood and sleep, and it has a lot of other benefits like regulating blood sugar levels, helping in muscle growth, and so on and so forth. So with these two things, I wish to convey that when we are looking at protein, it shouldn't be looked at only for the people who are working out. One, it should be looked at as an essential part of a daily diet as well. Doesn't matter. Now the degree of it would differ, as the appetite differs from a person who's not working out to a regular person who's training. But it needs to be incorporated in our daily diet. Now, our Indian culture, our Indian staple food is by far naturally very carb rich and very carb oriented. So we do not really have to, take care of carbs, because we are generally getting enough carbs that our body needs. What we need to really focus on would be your protein intake, would be your fiber. And when you're looking at muscle growth, protein is not the end destination. You require magnesium, calcium, iron, carbohydrates, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these things as well. So I hope with this thought I am able to, provide a different thinking and a different perception to what protein is, and I hope that we will take some consideration and think as to how can we incorporate more protein into our diet, because our diet is mostly carb rich. And I hope I was able to give you some insights. Now, if you guys are interested to know more about amino acids or casein protein, whey protein, and there are so many other forms of protein as well. There's pea protein for vegan people. I will leave a link or two below in the description as well for people who are interested in reading about it more. So with that thought, guys, I hope that the video did make some sense, and please stay tuned for more videos like these. Have a good day. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.